we've got here is a carrier heat pump, and they said it is not working, not heating, so let's see if we can figure out why. They said they didn't hear or didn't see anything running out here. The fan wasn't running, so anyway, let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. Let me turn the breaker off. Okay. So first thing, obviously, I'm going to start with is going to be the capacitor. And let's see what the capacitor's doing. Oh, 20 degrees this morning. We haven't had a winter like this in quite a while, to be perfectly honest. I'd be just fine if we don't see another one. Because I'm not a fan of the cold weather. So we got 45 reading 46. And 5 reading 5.0. Yeah, I don't know. The older I get, the less I want to be dealing with cold weather. Summer, I'm okay. But I'm not much of a fan of this cold weather, and I don't think I'm going to deal with it too many more times, to be honest. But anyway, stink bugs in here. So let's see. Contactor's pulled in. So if it was out on pressure when I got back here or what, well, I mean, the contactor wouldn't be pulled in. I don't know what the problem was. Could be a bad breaker or something, maybe. The unit's not getting the power through it. I don't know. Anyway, let me turn it back on, see what happens. Ah, so we got a compressor running, but not a fan. Oh, getting 1.4 amps on that fan. Let's see if it's seized up. Yeah, it's a little tight. What kind of fan is it? It's one of these carrier motors. They can tell them what size. It could be a 1200, a 1500 fan motor in it. So this one is 1100. Yeah. Let's get a motor and get it put in there. Alright, so we got the top of it flipped over. And I think I might be lucky on this one with the little short shaft. Yes. You gotta like it when it comes apart like that without any issue. Now we'll get the old motor off the grill. Alright, get this broke loose. You gotta be careful doing this because you hope that one of your because these have got the full cover little nuts on it, so I like to try to put those back on if I can. But you get a screw, or these little bolts off the back of the motor sometimes will rust lock to that, and you'll turn it off and it'll break and snap right off. So you kind of want to be easy getting these off. Try not to force it. And my damn fingertips. I mean, I have to wear. I mean, I wear gloves if I need to keep them warm, but I have to be able to feel things with my fingertips. But when it's cold, the fingertips get a little numb. You say numb, but damn, every little thing you do hurts if you bump them. Alright, so got that off. Oh yeah, that thing stinks. Let's go get one. Yeah, if you can't find a motor in stock somewhere, just come to this place and they will hook you up.
Missouri and St. Louis was crowned the game's most valuable.
Yeah, good old motors and controls. If you need a motor for something, they have it and they can get it, even if it's out of stock somewhere, cheaper than going to Carrier and getting the OEM motor as well. But those old mom and pop places like that, there aren't too many of them around anymore, but they can get you anything you need if they don't already have it when you get there. So anyway, we're gonna get this motor in. Could I put a truck stock motor in here? Yeah, probably so. But this motor is a 1/10 horsepower. Most of those truck stock motors are going to be 1/3 horsepower. You got to add a 7.5 capacitor. This one's the exact motor that came out of it for about 30% less than we'd have gotten it from the manufacturer. Plus the truck stock motor hangs deeper down into the unit, so the top section of the coil wouldn't have gotten any airflow. And this is kind of a taller unit, so that wouldn't have made a huge difference, but it makes a small difference. But anyway, let's get this thing on there and get it running. Screws that right here. Not a lot of places around like that anymore where you can just walk in. Residential, commercial, it doesn't matter what it is. Condenser, air handler. I mean, they can restring heat strips for you, get heat strips if they don't already have them. Draft motors and furnaces. All kinds of stuff. And like I said, little places like that are just far and few between now. Get all this tightened up and we'll get this thing back in. Get our fan blade back on. Get it back on the unit. Alright, so we got it mounted back. Let me grab a zip tie and get my wires plugged back in. We'll turn it on, check the pressures. I mean, y'all watched that sorry game last night. That was one of the worst Super Bowl games. Which, I mean, I'm not a fan of either team. I did kind of pull for New England just because of Drake May and coming from Carolina. And he didn't do worth a damn, but he's young. He's got some years ahead of him. But no, I didn't watch the halftime show either. Funny Bunny said we needed to learn Spanish to understand it, and I didn't have time to learn Spanish, so I switched over and watched something else for a few minutes. But anyway, let's see. The sticker on this thing, as you can see, is worn slap out. I have to assume this is R22 because it's telling me at 37 degrees outside. If I run this thing in heating, my low pressure should be in the mid 40s and somewhere a little over 200 on high. So I have to interpret that as this unit has R22 in it. So with all that said, let's turn the power back on. See what it looks like. And our fan is working. And I'm hooked up on the wrong side. I forgot this is a carrier. Your metering device is over here for the outdoor unit. So I should have been hooked up over there to begin with. But anything past that metering device is going to give you basically what your low pressure is. So piston in there for heating. Let it run a little bit and test the defrost cycle. But I have to believe everything is going to be good to go. Anyway, guys, quick fan motor replacement. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.